Yeah. Crunchyroll is such a hard thing for me to talk about ethically. Crunchyroll is officially a legitimate site to watch streaming media now. My personal opinion on it is that they made a name for themselves by streaming things illegally. So I have a really hard time watching anything on their site now. They got millions of dollars to reset themselves up as a legitimate company after doing damage to the anime and live-action film industry in Japan. There was a lot of live-action stuff on there. So I have a real hard time. I have to technically tell people it's an officially okay way to watch it, but me personally, I can't. If it's only available on Hulu, I'll just go back and watch Fushigi Yugi again, I guess. Like, I'll just do something else. Hulu, and it makes me really sad because I've got a fan on my Facebook right now in the UK that there are no streaming options in the UK right now. And he's like, how do you feel about people watching things on sites like Hulu via proxy servers? And he just got jumped on by all these people on my Facebook. But Hulu, YouTube, because there are streaming channels on YouTube, and Anime Network are the three. Now, Anime Network's not free, and doesn't... No, those are the three that I know of right off the bat that are online viewers, but they're not available to everybody. Hulu is amazing, but there's really, like, with anime on Hulu, it's not the whole series. It's usually, like, the first 6 episodes. I know with Big Wind Up and, it's not Kitty Grade, there's another, like, a girls type show, and all the others that I've seen on Hulu. Oh, Heroic Age. It's usually just a few episodes. I think Cashern's on there now, too, or Cashern Sins is on there now, too, but it's usually only a few episodes. And I think that's kind of that taste test model that people used to want. They wanted, you know, hey, we'd like a chance to view it before we watch it.
I was wondering, if Japan has such a big problem with stuff being on the internet and doing it on themselves, it's going to end up on the internet anyway, so why not do it themselves?
Well, and I think that's what Square Enix is doing. I think that's what some people are doing. The fact is, by law, there's no right to have it there. Like, that's the problem with us, with anime fans, is that we feel it our right to just publish other people's works. By making a scanlation available, you're publishing. Like, people don't see it that way, but you're publishing. And you're publishing someone else's work. I can't take a Lady Gaga CD and duplicate it and sell it. Like, I can make one to go in my car and listen to it in my car, but if I start selling it and actively engaging in distribution, I'm publishing her work without giving her any of the money from it. And that's really what's happening. I think that's why, and it's taken them a long time to realize it, but I think that's why a lot of companies in Japan are like, well, you know, I guess we're going to have to do this. I think the concern is that there's not a way to do it that they can safeguard it getting out of their hands, like it's happened on, you know, the simulcast, and getting out on the internet for free. The reason I think some of the online sites like Hulu are such a big deal is there is a way to put those things online for free and have ads there. And now there's this big contingency of people that are like, well, I don't like watching the Burger King ad when I'm trying to watch anime. Really? You get to watch it for free. Shut up. Like, really? If you have to watch a Prius commercial to see, you know, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, so be it. It's free. Old school fans, yeah, we didn't pay a lot of money in the old days, right? Like, we didn't pay $70 for VHS tapes. Like, that's ridiculous, yeah.
People complain about having to see commercials before streaming, but if they download a file and it has the original Japanese commercials in it, I hear people.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah, the Japanese commercials are my favorite part. I've heard people say that. And that touches on a really important subject that I forgot to go back to. When you're talking about people saying that it's free on television in Japan, you know that Japan has lost almost all of its big anime time blocks, right? Like the time block that Gundam and Full Metal Alchemist and all that primetime slot is gone. They don't do anime in that time slot anymore. Most people that like to watch anime in Japan have to subscribe to services like WoW or Flet or something like a cable provider. So it's not as free in Japan. There are still programs on TV, but nothing to the extent. I have a friend that just went there for school and stuff, and I said, you know, the streets are not paved with manga, right? Like, because he thought when he got there it was going to be all anime on TV and everything was going to be like Shibuya, and no, that's not it. That's an anime fan's misconception of what Japan is going to be like when they get there. But the sad thing about that TV time block that disappeared is advertisers complained that nothing that they sold in that time block none of their advertising was effective in that time block. So the message that viewers were sending is that anime fans don't spend money, so that time block is gone. That's kind of a big deal. Ask Funimation, like, getting something on television is a big deal. Like, Dragon Ball Z is only the huge deal that it is because it's on television and everybody saw it and kids grew up watching it. So losing that time block in Japan is kind of a big deal. Everything is moving more towards subscription service. Yeah.
What about Cartoon Network? Because I remember back in my...
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay, you are okay, right? You didn't just have like a small heart.
No. I usually go to the hospital when I do those.
Sorry, I'm sarcastic.
Nah, that's fine.
Would you say it's fair that they're a little bit guarded? Because the last anime they really tried to put out there, IGPX, flopped horribly. And even when they gave money for Big O Season 2, they didn't really do all that well.
Well, and the reason for my heart attack sound, Cartoon Network, more specifically Adult Swim, but Cartoon Network has also done their share. Yeah, Toonami is gone. They do not make any money selling or producing or promoting anime, and so it's not a focal point for them at all. And a lot of times when they report that a show didn't do well, it's not true. Perfect example. Adult Swim was going to not show Code Geass at one point, even though after they had said they were going to. Turner Broadcasting did a little investigation of their own and found out that Alchemist and Inuyasha were actually topping any other viewing records of any of their original shows. And basically they got bent over a desk and said, you're going to play this, you're going to show this. When they produce a show like Squidbillies or something like that, all that money goes to them. You know, that's their money. So any merchandising or anything, and it's their free airtime. So they have an interest in promoting original, works produced by them. But the reason for my sound, they make no bones about their disdain for anime fans. They're very vocal about it. They make fun of us on their black and white bumpers. I almost got in trouble when I took a tour of the Adult Swim facilities because when we went over to the Cartoon Network building, it was the cast of Alchemist. And they were like, hey, do you want to go to the swag closet? And who's gonna say no? Like the swag closet? I was like, yeah. I got like a Venture Brothers watch and a Bragg wallet and like Aqua Teen coasters and like all this free stuff. And the last thing they handed me was a shirt. And they're like, hey, here, have a Adult Swim Street Team shirt. And it's Laszlo, the founder of Adult Swim, dressed as the Statue of Liberty. And the banner across the shirt, he's like wearing, dressed as the Statue of Liberty, only he's in a toga. And the banner across his chest says, because anime is to suck. And I got a little upset about that, and I was told to be quiet. My other actor friends were like, shh, dude. I was like, did you see what the shirt said? He's like, shh, dude. So they don't make it a secret that they don't like anime. Which is really funny, because when you watch cartoons, how can you make fun of people that watch Japanese cartoons? That's like arguing who's the bigger nerd. Like, you don't get to wear a bigger helmet. That's weird.
Sci-fi is trying to bring back anime at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
What is it called? Like, is it
Anime Monday.
Yeah, Anime Monday. Yeah, Sci-Fi has been trying to, they've made multiple passes at trying to get anime programming. Another person that's still chugging away is Showtime. I think Showtime Action is still once in a blue moon showing anime. There are people that are actively trying to get more anime on television. Here's a really scary story. One of the biggest downfalls, or one of the biggest problems Anime Network ran into, originally Anime Network wanted to be a national anime channel that was on 24 hours a day for anime fans. with not just anime programming, but Japanese culture programming, Japanese rock shows, pop shows, teen idol shows, all of it. Like anything that, somebody infatuated with Japanese culture and anime would want. Do you know what the biggest problem they ran into? There were two companies that pretty much stopped them in their tracks from doing that. Cox Communications and Sony. Because they both had their own plans for an anime network. But guess what? They stopped the only people that could have done it well, and they've never produced their own network, ever. Sony has one overseas, but they've never brought it to the States. And so what could have been a really cool thing was stopped in the interest of some money stuff. So it freaks me out, and it makes me mad that we have to settle for, an ending block on the Colors Network or, an hour here or there on Showtime, because at one point we could have had like a full-fledged network, and that makes me a little mad. That makes me more than a little mad, actually, yeah.
Now, what happened between Anime Network and Bombcast?
Yeah.
See that anymore.
And the what?
And Bombcast.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Because
I don't know
halfway,
where.
and then Funimation came in its place, which is good, but there's certain titles you just will never see there.
Yeah, I don't know. And there are a lot of things, like there's a thing that we do. It's in the South though. It's a movie theater that does free screenings of anime.
Voice of God.
That is not the voice of God. That is the voice of my brother. I recognize it. No, I'm doing a panel. Come in. Oh, okay. Well, then you're gonna hear him screaming in a minute, which is pretty cool. But now that free screening and big preview thing has suddenly one day it just became a Funimation thing. So I don't know. I know that when ADB was having a lot of trouble when when ADB was in the process of trying to figure out what was going to happen. I know that's when that happened with the Alamo, the Draft House thing. So it could be the same situation with Bombcast. I don't know. I'll ask my friend at Anime Network, because she's honest. Like, I can ask her anything, even if it's not good. She'll be like, well... So I'll find out. But it's just a connection broken, it looks like. But it makes me mad that we can't have our own network. I go to conventions all over the country, like Otacon's attendance, 28,000, 30,000. AX, almost 50,000 people. Every single weekend in the country, there are anime conventions with up to generally no less than 600 or 700 people, and sometimes topping the tens of thousands in different cities everywhere. I don't see why, if all of us were willing to pay for a channel that we could watch anime 24 hours a day, I don't know why we have to settle for just an hour programming here or there, if for no other reason than, oh, she's just like something I think is awesome, so you're next, hang on. Normally I'm used to shooting you, but that's okay. I think the only reason other than, intervention that has not happened is because of money problems.